super friends, and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning, and in today's video we'll be discussing the main villain for The Flash Season 5 that was officially confirmed at San Diego Comic-Con, that villain being Cicada, so let's discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to head to my podcast channel, which is called Honor Thy Podcast. It is a weekly DC TV Arrowverse podcast I do with my good friend Dan McCants, aka Mulekick Media. So if you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to head to the link in the description down below. So the big bad of The Flash Season 5 has been speculated to be Cicada, or Cicada, for quite some time now. I made a video a while back breaking down who Cicada is in the comics, not necessarily who he's going to be on the show, and that's what this video is more going to be about. Because at San Diego Comic-Con, at the panel, the executive producer and showrunner of The Flash, Todd Helbing, did officially confirm right out the gate that the main big bad of The Flash Season 5 is going to be Cicada, and this was something that we all just were kind of expecting, but just waiting to be confirmed, and it officially was. Also, one thing that's funny is obviously the pronunciation of the name Cicada or Cicada has been greatly debated among the DC TV community, and it seems like the official pronunciation of the name is Cicada, because that's what Todd Helbing said, so I'm going to be calling him Cicada from this point on. Although I think Cicada is how I would normally pronounce it, I am going to be calling him Cicada from this point on, unless I hear otherwise. We'll have to see how they pronounce him on the show, unless it's going to be like a Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul thing where every cast member calls him a different thing, because I don't know. But from this point on, I'm going to be calling him Cicada. That's what Todd Helbing said, so I'm going to say Cicada from this point on. Now, one thing that really spiked me about Cicada, and also to do with the show, is that the cast of The Flash, they seem really excited about this villain. Like Grant Gustin, who of course plays Barry Allen, he was talking about how cool this villain is, and this is kind of like a villain he's wanted to see on the show for a while. So he's saying that he's really happy that he's finally got this. It seems like Grant Gustin got quite a lot of his wishes this season to do with the villain and also with the Flash ring, which he finally got. So it seems like quite a lot is going his way this season. But yeah, the cast seemed very, very excited. Like Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin Snow, she was also talking how excited she was about Cicada being the villain. So it seems like the cast are very optimistic about this villain, which is funny because obviously a lot of us in the DC TV community, we were kind of, we were a bit shaky on Cicada. We were kind of a bit like, what's he going to be like? Are we really going to like him? I know that I wasn't really a big advocate of Cicada. I remember, I'll fully admit that I was, saying I think he's a bit similar to the Thinker. I don't think I want him. Based on his comics version, he was a bit similar to the Thinker to me, and I was kind of like, I don't really know if I want this, But, I'm fully optimistic to be surprised, I'm fully open to it, so hopefully they can do it. And the little teaser that was at the end of the trailer for Season 5 for Cicada definitely intrigued me. I definitely like where they're sort of taking him. He seems to be a very dark villain, so I like where that's going, so I'm very open to be surprised here. Now, one word that keeps getting thrown around the cast about Cicada is that he is scary. People are saying he is a scary and terrifying villain, and that's something I really want to see on The Flash, because I think the most scary villain The Flash has ever done was probably Zoom in Season 2. Zoom was pretty terrifying, just because he was just a maniac who would just kill people for no reason. So, just to prove the fact that he was a villain. So I'd say he was probably the scariest one they've done, and also just due to his look and his voice and everything. So the fact they're going down the scary route again for The Flash with the villain, with Cicada, I like the sound of that. I think, making him definitely a bit more of a fearful villain is definitely a lot better of a choice, especially because the Thinker, well, I think the Thinker could be pretty scary at times. He wasn't really like this big, ominous threat that, felt terrifying. I mean, yes, you could visually see how powerful he was, but I don't think you really felt it. So if we actually get that feeling of fear from Cicada, that's definitely what I want to see. And again, based on that teaser at the end, it definitely seems like we are going down that route. He had that breathing apparatus, which, made him sound like Darth Vader, which I mentioned in my trailer breakdown. That could be something to do with something to do with the Flash, like maybe the Flash did something which, was involved in an incident which caused him to mess up his breathing or something, I don't know. Also, it seems like his family was involved, because obviously he's in that house and you can see like a lot of children's toys and things like that in the room, so it seems like maybe his family died in an incident, and that's what causes him to go down the villainous path. Also, we don't know what his costume's going to be like, or if he's going to wear a costume. We did see him wearing the mask. We do see like his mask very, very briefly. So it seems like they are going for some sort of costume design. It just depends on how they're going to do it. Especially because I think this version of Cicada is going to look very, very different to the comics version. Because the comics version is very much an older man, and he's very much a, he looks very old, put it that way. Whereas this guy is a bit more middle-aged. So I guess they are changing up the look quite significantly. But the idea of making him a scary villain definitely is full props. I think that's a great idea, and I really want them to really enforce that. If they're going to go with that direction, then go for it fully. And the only other thing Todd Helbing really said about this character of Cicada on the panel, he couldn't really say much, was that his powers present a new challenge for Team Flash. That's what he said. Obviously, Cicada has the power of basically immortality in the comics, and also being able to take away other Meta's powers. That's what his powers are in the comics. Obviously, we don't know what his powers are on the show, how they're going to be changed or manipulated. Usually, the Flash doesn't directly adapt. Usually, it switches things around. I mean, you just have to look at Nora Allen. You know, she's kind of like an amalgamation of Dawn Allen and also Jenny Ognat. So, again, this version of Cicada is probably going to be a bit different to what we're used to and what's, you know, conventional in the comics. So, in terms of what his powers are going to be, I really don't know. I mean, the fact that they're going to present a new challenge, you know, immortality, I don't think they've ever faced immortality before, but then would they really do immortality on the Flash? I don't know. And also, taking away other Meta's powers, they've kind of did that in Season 4 with that melting point character, you know, that Matthew guy from Season 4. He was kind of like that. I mean, he more like, you know, he could more like swap powers around than actually take them away necessarily, but, you know, they've kind of dealt with that before. Also, I feel like this is going to have a link to Cisco in some way, because Cisco, or Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, he was also saying on the panel that Cisco's powers are going to be pushed to the limit he's never been pushed to before, and he's going to have to use them in ways he's never used them before, and Cisco's really going to be tested next season, so maybe Cisco has something to do with maybe, like, you know, fighting against Cicada. He's going to use his powers, his vibe powers in some way, so maybe that's got something to do with it as well. And the only other thing we officially know about Cicada for the Flash is that he's going to be played by Klein, and this seems like a pretty good casting choice for the most part. When I first heard it, I was a bit like, especially because I was really set on the idea of Mark Pellegrino playing him. Also, like, those audition tapes we got a while back, you know, none of those guys got the job, none of the two that we saw, even though I really like the first choice out of those two. But Klein, you know, again, I can't really say anything because I need to wait until I actually see it. You know, I don't want to judge anything beforehand because, you know, I've judged many villains before, even within the Arrowverse itself. Like in the Flash last season, I judged the Thinker and Neil Sandilands, and look how good he was. And, you know, I brought this up when I think I did my trailer breakdown, which, you know, I was really skeptical about Adrian Chase, because obviously when Adrian Chase first shows up, he's in Arrow Season 5, he's just a really generic guy. But then as soon as it's revealed he's Prometheus, Josh Segarra and his acting just absolutely skyrocketed to 11, and he is, in my opinion, the best villain of the Arrowverse. So, you know, you've really got to wait and see these things in action before you judge them. So, Klein, make sure you do an absolutely smashing job, my friend, because you are definitely looking to be a good casting choice for this, and I'm interested to see what you do with the villain of Cicada. But what do you guys think about Cicada? Make sure you tell me all your thoughts about him in the comment section down below. Are you happy that he's going to be the big bad this season? Would you have rather have seen somebody else? Overall, I'm actually getting a bit more excited about Cicada as time goes on and the more we learn about him. I mean, personally, I still would have liked to have seen Cobalt Blue, but, I mean, The Flash, I'm sure, has got many, many seasons to go yet, so I'm sure we will see Cobalt Blue at some point, but although we didn't get Cobalt Blue, I'm quite happy we are getting Cicada, because it seems like The Flash has really wanted to do him, especially for a long time. So if the cast and the producers and the writers are excited about this character and really want to do this character well, then I don't have a problem with it, as long as they do him well, and as long as he's a well-written villain and doesn't have some weird body hopping halfway through the season like the Thinker did, then I'm sure this will be a pretty good villain choice, and I like the fear angle they're going down. So overall, I'm pretty happy with Cicada now, but make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, it'll help me out a lot, and share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.